Welcome back to Coffee in the Swarm, a Project Zion podcast production coming to you from Graceland University in Lamoni, Iowa. The Swarm is our on-campus snack bar in the Newcomb Student Union. This year, our podcast is co-hosted by campus chaplain Aliyah Farrell and is hosted by campus minister
Mike Hoffman.
Coffee in the Swarm is where we interview students at Graceland who are connected to the community of Christ. Today, we are here with
Callie Dennis.
Welcome, Callie. All right, so tell us about yourself. Tell us your story.
Okay, I'm Callie Dennis. I'm freshman here at Graceland, Montserrat. I play volleyball, the biology major, and I'm like a 1 billion generation Graceland.
Where are you from?
I'm from Lee Summit, Missouri.
Okay.
So like Kansas City area.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So what was church like back for you at home?
So church at home for me, I attended the Liberty Street congregation in Independence, Missouri, and we go every Sunday. Always go to Sunday school. My mom and dad are both big in the church. My mom teaches Sunday school, and my dad is the CFO of our Liberty Street congregation. We also run all the potlucks at church. And that was my
You guys, your family runs all the potlucks?
Yes, and they all have a team, and there's one every month.
Oh, nice.
I
That's
love that.
good. I do too.
Mm-hmm. Super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm assuming you went to church camps, went to SPEC.
Oh yes,
all that.
all
So
the
how was that for
2000.
you?
Oh, it was so fun. Growing up, I went when I was really little, and then I took a break because I started playing volleyball, and it was more competitive volleyball, and so I had to do a lot of like summer conditioning and training in the summer, so I wouldn't get to go to camp. But then I started going again, like after COVID. I went to SPEC for the first time. And going to SPEC made me realize, like, oh, I need to start going back to camps because this was so much fun.
Right.
And so then after that, I started going
Go
every
back.
year again.
So you would have gone back to senior high camp.
Yes.
then.
So I
Okay.
never went to middle school camp.
Okay.
But
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually funny. So
And Camp Doniphan is your home.
yes,
Yeah,
Camp
okay.
Jonathan, the best one.
yeah, no, actually at SPEC, like our brothers at the time were
Oh.
best
Best
friends.
friends.
And so they were like, well, Danny told her to come find me. Nico told me to come find her. And
Oh.
so I don't even know where we were, but like we ran
It
into
was
each other and I was
under
like,
the tent on the
oh my
quad.
gosh, are you Callie?
Yes,
And
under
it
the
was like,
tent on the
and
quad
that's,
doing
yeah,
the
that's how we
wood
met.
burning. Yes.
Yeah, and that's how we met. So
You
it's
guys are
pretty cool.
hilarious together.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
pretty cool.
Now you're a year, but Aliyah, you're a year older.
Yes,
than,
yes,
right,
yes.
right. So,
Yep.
okay.
Okay, so what brought you to Graceland?
Well, it was a multitude of reasons, honestly. I had a lot of strong family influence to come here. I grew up hearing stories about, the good old times at Graceland, and then Danny, my older brother, came, or he still is here, he graduates this year.
Yeah.
And he would tell me all the funny stories he had like experienced. But then I was offered the academic honors scholarship, the full ride prestigious honors
Oh,
scholarship.
okay.
So I came up here and I interviewed for that, and then the same day I had a volleyball audition, and it was a very stressful day to do like a full
do
day of
both?
honors panel, and then like the other half of the day was volleyball. Very stressful day for Callie. But I ended up winning the prestigious honors scholarship out of the other applicants. And then I also ended up making the volleyball team, and so those just were some more reasons that secured me in place.
Yeah.
Did you have any other schools in mind when you were applying to colleges, or were you kind of set in stone?
For a long time, I didn't want to come to Graceland.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to be like my family. I'm going to like forge my own path. And I thought about going to KU for a long time. But I also toured schools. I toured Boise State. I have a family in Boise.
Yeah.
And I toured College of Idaho, which is Graceland size. And I also made the volleyball team there.
Okay.
And then I also toured University of Washington.
Okay.
In Seattle. And those were all just, except for College of Idaho, they were all super big schools. And it freaked me out because I'm not very good at directions. Like, I don't know my lefts and rights, which I know I need to work on that. But they were just so big that I had to use like Apple Map, like my maps to like get around the campus. And I couldn't find any of the buildings. And that would have just freaked me out so bad.
Yeah.
But then it was also like coming to SPEC and like realizing I could be here full time and do this full time.
Yeah.
That also kind of really made me want to come here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you're only overlapping with Danny, who is also this year as the chaplain president too. So we work with him, but yeah, so only a year. So you'll be on your own for 3 years at least. Yeah. So,
Here.
yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, during preseason, I would go over and use his apartment all the time, and yeah.
I guess I hadn't thought about that. You both have.
Yeah.
Well,
They're roommates.
Oh, okay.
They
so-
are
okay.
roommates. So
Okay. I didn't know how that lasted. So,
yeah.
all right.
So describe your Graceland experience thus far.
Oh my gosh, it has just been the best. This year has like flown by. Like everyone
Oh, I
says it goes
agree.
fast,
Yeah.
but oh my goodness, I can't believe we only have like 3 weeks left.
Yeah.
11 days left of classes and then finals week. Oh, I
Yeah.
counted this morning.
That's stressing me out a little bit, but I'm excited. I'm excited for it to be done.
Yeah.
I would like a little break, but
Mhm.
oh my gosh, it's just been the most fun year like ever. Fall semester was my favorite, I think, because it was just the excitement of being here, making new friends.
Sure.
But also, oh my goodness, Soraya and Serape was
That was fun.
House
So
pairing.
just for those of you listening, I have to explain the serape thing,
Yes, of
okay?
course.
Because when houses pair up, sibling houses pair up, they come up with these creative names, and I've just always found them to be totally funny. I mean, serape that's pretty good. I don't remember hearing that before. So,
Yeah.
so
But yeah, we swept homecoming and won
Oh,
air band.
yes.
And obviously as a freshman, like that's so
That
fun.
was very
and
exciting for
awesome.
me.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well,
it was
cool.
pretty cool.
So I have a question to interrupt you
Of
here
course,
a little
of course.
bit. So based on your Graceland experience and having now almost a year under your belt, if you had to think of a superpower related to your Graceland experience, what would that one superpower be?
Like a superpower to help me through.
Oh, whatever.
Oh.
I mean, or maybe help you through, or maybe just something related to all that.
I would say, and this is not a superpower I would normally like wish for.
Okay.
I would say super speed,
Okay.
because you're just so busy here all the time.
Okay.
Like, sure, there's not a ton of stuff to do in Lamona, but there's always something to do on
Campus, yeah.
And I always have so much homework that sometimes I have to pick and choose like COSA event or homework.
Okay.
And I usually end up choosing COSA event. And I don't sleep because I stay up late to do my homework.
Right.
All right,
So I think I would choose super speed just so I could like speed through all my homework, all my
Okay.
studying, and
Yeah.
still get to do all the fun stuff.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So I mean, as a biology major, how has that been this year? I guess adjusting to all of that.
It's been busy. Like I knew
Oh,
it
yeah.
was going to be more difficult major compared to some other ones, but it's definitely a lot of homework, and it's gonna get worse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Are
Well,
you?
'cause
'cause-
I'm a nursing major,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I came
but you
in as a
overlap.
pre-med biology
Yeah,
major,
so-
and then I switched to nursing.
Yeah.
But,
So I have.
Danny is.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Just I may be jumping ahead a little bit, but what do you want to do with a biology major? I mean, I know you're a first year student, so that may be an unfair question,
Right.
That's
but
okay.
you obviously had some motivation to pick biology.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what do you want to do with it?
Well, I've always loved science.
Okay.
Honestly, I've always just loved school. I've always been kind of a school girl. Like,
Okay.
I really like to learn, and I'm good at
Okay.
it, I think. At
Yeah.
least.
Well,
Not to toot my own
some of the things. Well, but you've evidently there's some evidence there that you
Yes,
do. So
yes.
okay.
But I've always loved science, and ever since I was, I don't know, little, I've always kind of wanted to be like a doctor.
Okay.
My mom's a doctor, and she's a very big influence on my life.
Sure.
But I do not want to be the same thing she is.
Okay.
She's a pathologist, so she just looks like
So
a
not that
microscope.
specific type of doctor,
But I
but you.
still want to go into medicine.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately, I think I'd want to be a pediatrician.
Okay. Yeah.
But that's subject
But
to change.
yeah, of course, right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So what has been your church experience at Graceland?
I was a little hesitant to start going to church events at Graceland just because I didn't really know what to expect. But I went to Afterglow because Danny's chaplain president, so
Yeah.
he also plays the piano at
Right.
all the Afterglow services. And it was like the most fun like church experience I've had in a while. I felt connected to God in a way that I hadn't in a while. And it reminded me a lot of church camps,
Okay.
like singing the songs.
Yeah.
And like, I do miss hymns sometimes because we don't sing a lot of hymns in
Yeah.
Afterglow.
No.
But it is kind of fun and refreshing to just see like a lot of student testimonies rather than
Right.
big long messages,
Yeah.
and get like a perspective from like my peers on their experiences with God. And so yeah, I've really liked Afterglow. I go almost every week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good.
So the question is, what are your life plans after graduation? But we talked about you being a pediatrician. So what do you plan to do in the summer this year? Like after you're done with your first year of college, you finally get to go back home for a little while.
Yes. I've been working on my summer plans for the past like few weeks.
Okay.
Everything all prepped. So I'm working towards clinical hours. Just look good on.
So
like,
you'll be
physical
doing that
education.
this clinical hours
Yes.
this summer?
I will be getting mostly shadowing hours.
Okay.
So I'm gonna aim for like 50 to 100 shadowing hours this summer.
For the whole summer.
For the whole
Not
summer.
per week.
No. I don't even know if that's possible.
No, I don't think so.
But for the whole summer.
Okay.
And luckily we get out so early. We get out like end of April, not
Right.
even. So I'll have a lot of time to like prepare and like work on my, what's that word called?
Application.
Yeah, my med school
Resume.
Oh, yeah.
and
Is it
yeah,
already
hours.
time to do med school applications?
No.
or-
That won't
Okay.
be for another like 2 years.
Okay.
But you got to get in a certain amount of shadowing hours or
Oh, I
clinical
see.
hours.
I see.
You have to have like
Volunteer
on-hand
hours.
patient care hours.
And documentation for it, that kind of
Yes.
thing.
And so they have to like
Okay.
cite how many hours and have like a phone number saying you did it.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to work on those this summer so that when it comes time to actually apply, I'm not like rushing to cram everything in, and I actually have time to study for like the MCAT. And I just met with one of the previous Rush scholars. They had Dr. Shago had a 4th-year med student from Des Moines come talk to us, and I had a private little one-on-one meeting with her and asked what she did to prepare for med school. So I'm kind of following that. I've done some research. So I'm mostly just prepping for the future, and I might go back to the restaurant that I used to work at to make some money on the side.
Okay, so what's the biggest life lesson you've learned, and how did you learn?
Like in all my life or at Graceland?
In all your life, or at Graceland, whatever one you want.
Including both.
Yeah,
Including both. That's a tricky question. I think it would be to put myself out there more, because I was very shy growing up, and I'm still
Okay.
kind of not the most outgoing person.
Okay.
I'm usually very cautious and like hesitant to enter certain situations, especially if I don't know what's going to happen. And so I think the biggest life lesson I've learned is just to trust myself and like trust God, that if I put myself out there, I'm going to be met with things that need to happen, you know?
Did you find that was part of your experience coming to Graceland, that you, like when I went to college, I made a big decision between high school and college. I was really shy during high school, at least not with my closest friends, but and I decided that I was going to put myself out there when I went to college. Is that is that
I think
what
it
you're
was more
talking about?
so after COVID happened.
Oh, okay. All
Which-
right. Yeah.
Weird timing, I guess. but
Yeah.
I think it was just being in my house for
And
so
how
long.
old were you when COVID hit?
So March 2020, when it first hit,
Yeah.
I was in 8th grade.
Okay.
So I was
okay.
like 14.
Yeah. So
Um,
after that experience,
Yes.
then is
So it
okay.
didn't really like fully click for me until I was like 14 or 15, coming out of COVID,
Sure.
going back to school like full time, not doing the hybrid schedule and like not wearing masks as much. I just felt like, these are, time, I guess I kind of took it for granted.
Right.
And then during COVID,
Okay.
it made me realize like, oh, like I'm not always going to have this
Yeah.
experience. I got to make it last.
Gotcha.
And so it really hit towards the end of high school, which I think it does for a lot of people, where you're just
Mhm.
like,
That was
you don't
more
care
for me.
anymore.
Yeah.
And so you're just willing to put yourself out there because like this point in your life is coming to an end.
Mhm.
And so that was when it really, really strongly clicked for me. But it was also always present during camps, because church camps are just such a welcoming environment that I always felt comfortable enough to like put myself out there more.
So you could really be who you sort of who you are,
Yeah.
really. Yeah. Okay.
Do you think that like Graceland and the housing system has like helped you overcome that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice to just have an automatic, everyone says it's like your automatic friend
Right.
group with your house,
Right.
but they really do like encourage you to go to events and get yourself out there and make new friends. And you meet so many like different types of people
Mhm.
that you really learn how to get along with everyone and like how to be yourself around more than just one type of person.
Mhm. Do you have plans for next year? Like, here at Graceland, do you want to pursue a house council position or
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, so I ran for COSA
Okay.
rep for Soraya and I got it.
All right.
So I'm super excited because I love COSA.
Okay. And just for you listening, COSA is the campus organization for student activities. Yes, okay.
Yes. So I'm super excited because I've loved going to COSA events
Okay.
and I really like to organize and plan and help.
There you go.
And I mean, those just go right hand in
They
hand.
do.
Yeah, I will
So-
say Callie's also very good at it too, because when we do for Airband, we did our costumes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
we made our little wigs. For those of you listening, we did trolls. So we had to have little wigs on
Oh
our
yeah,
head.
I remember
She
those wigs.
He made those, all of them.
Wow. I think
she's
I
a super
heard that
crafty.
actually, but
So,
I forgot
yeah.
it. So
She's been awesome to have on Soraya.
very nice, very nice.
Okay, so we're gonna gear more towards Community of Christ now.
Okay.
So what are your hopes for Community of Christ in the future?
I think sometimes, not specifically Community of Christ, but Christianity as a whole gets a bad reputation, especially when it comes to being inclusive and diverse and welcoming to others. And I know Community of Christ specifically is very open to that. That's one of our enduring principles.
Mhm.
But being here at Graceland, I've had to explain that to people before, explain our enduring principles and how we love everyone and we want everyone to feel welcome in our churches and welcome to, accepting the love of Jesus. And so I think my hope for Community of Christ and all of Christianity is to take another step in that direction and not so much say that we welcome and love everyone, but show it more.
Mhm.
Yeah. Just
Well
be
said.
welcome.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So what is one thing you would want the leaders of Community of Christ to know? It probably goes hand in
Same
hand with
thing.
what
Pretty much
just what you said.
same thing.
Yeah.
What do you?
Yeah.
Speaking of leaders, we're on the verge of the 2025 World Conference.
Mhm.
Do you plan on going to conference or okay?
Actually, do you know Julie Beaufort?
Oh yeah.
That was my mom's roommate, actually.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yes.
Everyone
My mom
always
went to
connects.
Graceland.
Yes,
My
connected.
mom went to Graceland. Julie was her roommate.
Yeah, Julie Beaufort reached out to me a few weeks ago. Love that
Yeah,
woman. Bless her
okay.
heart. She reached out to me and asked me if I could attend World Conference as a preschool teacher.
Oh yeah.
Or a
Okay.
Sunday school teacher
Yeah.
kind of. And so I think I'm teaching the kindergarten classes
Okay. Okay.
for the few days during World Conference. So I'm super excited.
That's
about
awesome.
that.
Yeah, well, good. It's going to be an historic conference because of the selection of Stacey Cram to be our first woman president prophet. So, that's why I was sort
That's
of
really
leaning that
exciting.
way. So, yeah, I'm very excited about going.
All right. So any closing thoughts? Anything you want our listeners to know?
I don't think so.
She wants you to know nothing. Listen,
Yes,
no, I'm
yes,
just
yes.
kidding. Yeah, no, that's fine. Great.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Callie.
Yeah.
That wraps things up for today's episode of Coffee in the Swarm. Thank you for listening. This is Aliyah,
Callie.
And Mike.
signing off until next time.